guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So I am back off the holidays. We had a fantastic time in Spain with my grandchildren and of course my daughter and her husband. It was beautiful weather as well. We did lots and lots, so it was fantastic. So I am back home now. I am back with Friday Freebie 62, which is lovely. So we are on the autumny fall sort of like season now, aren't we? So I thought we would carry on because last week I did this one, which was one of my mixed media projects, which I made into like a little booklet, which I think looks beautiful. So all of these go together. These tags will fit in the book, which is lovely. I might pop one in the inside pocket bit or do a pocket and pop it in. So lovely. So this one, again, 2 tags. I have 2 lovely little sort of autumn verses on there, and I have 2 fussy cuts. So quite a simple one, but absolutely gorgeous, and I'm just loving the colors. Absolutely love the colors. Now of course I have another one, so if you are a one-off or a monthly Ko-fi supporter, you can have this one as well. So pop over to Ko-fi, links are underneath, and you can print that off or download it and keep it for when you need it. So lovely. So I'm going to pop that to the side. So I am going to show you what I have made. So they are just beautiful. So I have made 2 tags. I've got a little, I've just sort of like popped some little bits underneath here, just a bit of scruffy bit of fabric on there. I fussy cut that out and I popped a piece of string on there. Now for the backing, I have printed these onto 160 GSM paper. Now what I've done as well, I've backed it with some Amazon packaging, so I thought it just makes it a little bit stronger, and I just think they are lovely. So this is what we will be doing today. I've got them here. Now I'm going to show you how I did it. Now I've cut out one of the little fussy cuts there. It looks a bit sort of daunting to cut out, but it's not really. Okay, so when they say fussy cut, just fussy cut it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be perfect. So just remember to hold your scissors straight and move the paper. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, this is how you do it. Now you don't have to cut every little bit out, just sort of like wiggle the paper like that, go around. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can always leave a little white line around it as well and then ink it up afterwards, so you don't have to cut off every little bit. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to go around. I just sort of like wiggle it so it looks like a leaf like that. Go in, around, cut the little tiny bits off that you don't need those anyway. And if you're not good at fussy cutting, you can just cut the little bit of the acorn out as well. You can cut it out however you like. That's what I mean. So just go round. It's quite simple. And there we go. And you can see on here just the little bits that are left over. Can you see the little lines? So I haven't cut out all the little tiny bits on there. You don't really need to. So what I'm going to do is just ink around the edge like this, just to get rid of those little white bits. So nice and simple. Okay, so I've done both. I think I inked around that one already. And then what I have done with these, when I've cut them out, I've just grunged up the end. Now I've got my little here, I did use this, so I've just got my little tool there like that, and then I've just inked around it, so just to give them a little bit of a grungy look to the outside like that. So they're ready to go. Now these 2, I've got some packaging, so what I'm going to do, I haven't cut all the way around that because I want to pop the packaging on the back first and then cut around so you get a really nice neat finish. So I'm going to get some glue, just a little bit of glue stick, but again use whatever glue you are happy to use. So let's just stick that on. I'm going to pop that down, turn it over, make sure it's stuck down nicely. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to put 2 layers on here. So let's just cut that off. I'm going to go around this again, like that. Stick this onto here, like that, and just make sure it's stuck down on there nicely. Cut that piece off, so that just makes it quite a nice sort of like thickness to that. Pop that to the side, and we will do this one. Whoops. A bit of glue. Again, you don't have to use packaging. You can use any paper that you've got. Josh, I mean, any scrap paper, tea stain paper, but I thought I would just use a little bit of packaging today because I have quite a lot of it. My cat George, I sort of like leave it on the floor sometimes for him because he loves playing in it. He will sit in it for ages. Bless him. Such a funny little cat. So, there we go. Will that fit on there? Yes, it will. So, there we go. Stick this one down, and then we can cut them out. Now, I've sewn around the outside of the other tags, but again, that's optional. It depends what you would like to do. Whoops. Quite on it is. Just about. So, squash it down so it's nice and flat and stuck down. Now, you want to do that. Oh, I've got all stickiness everywhere. You want to make sure they're nice and flat, especially if you're not going to sew around the outside. So let's just cut around here. And by not cutting them right up to the edge, you get a really good finish to your work. Just what I mean. You don't see any lines. Now just go around again. And again, don't worry if you're not cutting it around properly. It doesn't matter. It's a nice little tag. You can always ink around the edges. Things don't have to be perfect. Just go down around here, and I'm just going to round those little edges off like that, just to finish it off nicely. There we go. And you see, lovely. I'm going to just squash that down again. Perfect. Now let's do this one. Okay, I'm not sure whether to sew around these or not. We shall see. Let's just have a quick trim around. Like that. It's a nice easy one. It's a nice one, I think, because everybody at the moment is making, I think, will be making something sort of autumny, won't they? And these will also, if you've got my other kits, the Folks of the Forest or Nature's Notes, these will go in there as well, because I'm thinking, because I'm making more, I might pop some into my other journals or just keep them ready, because I think they will go in there lovely. Look at that. Lovely. Okay, so now I've got some little grungy bits here. Now these are the ones that I had coffee and tea stained. So let's just make sure these can go on. Now on one of them, this one, I used some of this on the back, which I quite like. Now this is from Tapology, which is nice, isn't it? And left it sort of like, so it just comes off the edge a little bit. Let's pull that. Let's make that little bit grungy. Pop that on there. Can you see? So it just sort of like comes off the edge a bit. I'm going to use a little bit of this just to hold it down. I think I will sew around them. There's a bit of glue on there. That's okay. It will be hidden, won't it? Let's just stick that down nicely. So that's the back of that one. What should we have on the back of this one? Should I just pop a little bit of this around at the edge? So get all your little bits of fabric out. You don't have to. If you've got coloured paper, you can add a little bit of coloured paper that's scrunched up on the back. Or it's got such a lovely background, you don't even need to add anything. You can just pop these on top like that, which look really nice. So let's just, I think I might just scrunch. Should we have it so it sort of comes along the bottom bit? Let's just stick that down. Scrunch it up as long as we don't cover up our words on there. Now I think this one says autumn on there, so we need to pop that with the autumn. So I've got them the long way round. So what should we do? Should we scrunch this? Let's bring this down just a little bit. There we go. Pop that on there. Should I have another little bit at the top? Just to sort of even it out a little bit. Scrunch this. I had to cut all my nails because they grew so long I couldn't pick things up. I realised that my nails had just grown so long, so I cut them all off. Start again. So we need a little bit on here. There we go. A little bit there. Scrunch this. I don't mind it sticking off the edges because I think it looks really nice, doesn't it? Okay, now I think I might sew around the outside of these. Just wanted these little bits, so when I sew it, it's sort of like, you can see the stitch marks down through it. So that looks nice. What should we have on this one? Should we put this one? We can even have this one on there. It doesn't really matter, does it? Up there. This one can come down, and then this one can go on there. Look, I think that looks really good. So I think maybe I'll pop, should we pop a little bit of this underneath there? Let's cut a piece of this off. Going to just stick this on here, just so it comes down, and then that can be stuck on there like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take these two pieces off, and I'm going to just go and run the sewing machine just around the edge of these, so I will be 2 seconds. Okay, so they have come out really nice. So it's just a quick little stitch around the outside, but I like the backing on there. I think it looks really nice. Now I didn't ink around it, did I? So should we just pop just a little bit of ink just to get rid of that little white bit around there. I should have done this before I sewed it, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's just, can you see? I don't know whether you can. It's just got a little white edge, and I think it just, you know, it just finishes it off. It just shows you've just made that little bit more effort to finish that off and make it look nice. So there we go, perfect. Pop the lid on everything so it doesn't dry up. Okay, now what we were going to do, we're going to put this one on. Let me just turn these around. That can go on there like that. Not that it, oh, I got glue all over that now. No, that's okay. Not that it really matters which ones go where. I'm going to just stick this onto here. Look at that. A little bit. You can always pop some sort of like foam tape on here, and so it just sort of like lifts it up just a little bit, so it gives it a little bit of dimension on there, which you can do. Now, which one am I going to go for? I think this goes with this colour better, actually. Right, I'm going to pop some little bits and pieces underneath. Now these are just old bits of towel and things like that that I've coffee and tea stained. Oops, not going to rip very well, but I like all these little bits that sort of hang off. So I'm going to just pop that like that. Where did I do my glue? Here it is. Now I'm not making a hole in the top of these. I'm going to pop a little bow. So again, you can make a little and pop a little eyelet or something at the top and have a little bit of ribbon on there. But I just thought, you know, if you haven't got like a little hole punch or anything like that, it's easier to just stick something on there. I'm going to just stick this on here like that, because I know I've got lots of newbies that watch me, and you know, you don't always have everything crafty. I've got lots of bits and pieces because I've been doing it for many years. But if you haven't got anything, this is just glue. You don't have to sew around it either. I just made a little bow with some string, some twine, which is this one, which is a nice thin one. I've got glue all over my fingers. I'm gonna just pop that at the top. Just stick it down with a little bit of glue. Now you can use just normal PVA school glue. You can use that. It doesn't matter as long as it sticks nicely. Look at that. I think it looks fab. Love them. I'm going to stick this one on here. Shall we have a few bits underneath? What we got? Here's a little scruffy piece. Let's just stick that. I'm going to stick this on before I stick the little verse on there. Let's just stick these up like that. So again, just use what you've got. Pop bits on there. Let's just cut a little bit of this off. Scrunch it all up. This is a lovely colour, which goes with this one, doesn't it? This goes with this one really well. Let's just scrunch it. Let's pop this on. There we go. Pop this one on. Oops. Pop that down. Lower. There we go. Just sticks on. Lovely. So a nice simple one for you today. It's not too bad. It's only this little bit of fussy cutting that you've got on there, which is a little bit difficult if you have sort of like dexterity problems, but just do your best to cut it out. You don't have to have all the little leaves, and once it's stuck on there, you can't really see it anyway. Just I mean, if you've got mistakes on there, you can't really see them, so don't worry too much. And then we just pop a little bow on there like that, a little bit of glue, and stick that on. And I just think they look beautiful like that. Oops, wrong lid. Pop that one on so it doesn't dry up. Now there we go, guys. So I now have 4 fabulous ones, and I really do think that these will go in the Folks of the Forest. Now I'm going to pop those to the side because I want to show you the Friday Freebie book. Now, I've got bits and pieces everywhere. Now I've picked a page here which I'm going to pop them in, which is nice. And what I've done, you can see a bit of when you've got your tea stain paper or coffee stain paper, it's got little marks on it anyway. So what I've done as well, I've taken a piece of just the packaging, just the torn edge, and I've gone over it, and I have used, I'll show you, Distress Oxides, which is abandoned coral and wild honey. And all as I've done, I've gone over it and I've just made little marks, just so it's sort of almost got like a little the same colours, sort of like autumny colours. And then I've got a little bit of my vintage photo and just gone around with it as well. So it gives it a nice little background to it. As you can see, they're the nice autumn colours on there. And what I thought I'd do, because on this page, obviously my Friday Freebie book is sort of like mixed up all over the place. But I do have my little calendars in here, and I've got the vellum or tracing paper on there. So I thought, because it's opposite page, I'm going to use that. Now I've just taken a piece and folded it over and then folded it in half. So it's the same length as that, and I'm going to put my tags in this way, like this. So I thought that would be quite different, wouldn't it? So I think that looks really nice. So super simple. You don't have to, if you haven't got tracing paper, just use paper. You can use a little bit of fabric if you wanted to. There's all sorts of things that you can use. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue just down the sides, down this middle bit, so they don't fall together. They've got their own little pockets. Let's go all the way down here, along there. And I'm going to leave it plain. Let's just see if we can stick this in without making too much mess. There we go. I didn't put anything on the top of this because I haven't got anything on the top of those ones. Like that. But I've just doubled it over just so it gives it a little bit more strength on there. Now let's just stick that down. Okay, perfect. And then we take, I would wait for it to dry a little bit before you start pushing them in, but I just want to show you how they will just pop in. And you can see that you can still see under here. This is why I like to use vellum, because you can see the beautiful tags underneath. But I just think that looks really, really lovely on your journal. And again, so next week's I can just pop into here. I've got the little booklet as well, which I can pop this one into on here on the front page. If you wanted to make, you don't have to put your paper in. You could make like a little file folder in here. You could pop a little bit in the corner and just tuck these in like that and have that in there. We can have one in the front, one in the back. So lots of different ways of using these. And again, if you're making an autumn journal, then they would fit in there perfect. But there we go, guys. That is your Friday freebie for this week, which I am loving. I think they are so, so pretty. And again, where is our... This is for our Ko-fi supporters. So pop over there. If you're a monthly or a one-off supporter, you can pop over and print that off. And this is our lovely one for the Friday freebie. So this is 162. Can you believe it? 162 we've done. It's amazing. So thank you so, so much for joining me. Again, all the links are down underneath the video. So if you're not on Facebook, then these will be available in the Etsy and the Ko-fi shop in a couple of weeks, because they are in sets of 4 for you. So there we go, guys. But again, if you're on Facebook, pop over to Facebook. If you're not going to use it now, make sure you download them. I mean, you don't have to print them, but keep them, because they're not going to be on there forever. All right, for free. So there we go, guys. Well, there we are. Thank you so, so much for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.